Hello, and welcome to the final lesson of Vanilla Doom editing series, which is Lesson 5 Part 2 of Tips and Tricks. So go ahead and we'll start off by making a new, starting a new map. And I want to have plenty of room to work here, so I'm going to make a 1024 by 1024 sector. And in this lesson, we will be focusing on making a 3D bridge, one that you can't walk under but looks nice, one that you can walk under but it doesn't have like a full floor texture. It uses like planks kind of thing. And we'll also look at making a swinging door and a fake slope. So we'll go ahead and work on the fake bridge first. So what I want to do for this is come up here and make 4 steps on both sides of the bridge. So I'm just going to make a 128 sector and split it for this. And I'll make the bridge itself 256. Okay. And a simple way to make these stairs, just to make the outside sector of them, then drag a line across, click again, and right click. And it'll split the sectors. And you can keep doing this until you have, till you have all your steps, and there you go. And now through the other side. And there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and select the whole thing. That way you can see it better in 3D mode. I'm going to pump it up to 208 and go into 3D mode. Okay, and here's our stairs right here. I'm going to switch this to grass texture just to make it look a little better, and then put a sky texture on the ceiling. Okay, and that's good. Okay, grass there in the middle because that's actually going to be the floor of our under our 3D bridge. Move these all up. Okay. Oh, I messed up a floor there. All right, and then I'm going to come and fix the other ones as well. Okay. There's our stairs. Go ahead and texture these. With simple brown texture, doesn't really matter what textures. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and make another sector in the middle of this one here. And this is basically going to serve as our 3D, our regular bridge, our fake 3D bridge. So we'll move that out of the ground and up to 64, and then we're looking for flat 5_2, which is a wooden texture right there. Alright, and now the trick to getting this bridge to work is that you cannot look at it from these sides, because if you look at it from these sides, it will show an error on your bridge. So what you want to do is block those sides off by making a simple wall on the sides of both steps. And delete that and put this last one in here. Okay, and there's that. Alright, and from there I'll go ahead and go into 3D and make sure it looks good. Alright, so now those are blocked off, so you can't walk past them, so you're not going to get that error. So now what we'll see here is the 3D bridge. When we come across, we'll see this wood, and it's going to complete here, so you're not going to really notice that it has no texture. Then when you come down to the bottom, you're not going to see anything at all, because once the floor is above this point, above your head, that you won't see any of this. So what we're going to do is put in something that makes it look like it's a bridge. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and add a texture in here, because it's going to be impassable, and make it impassable. It's mid bars 3, and add that to both the front and the back, and raise them 48 on their Y alignment. Go back into properties and make sure you have lower unpeg checked. Lower unpeg is going to make it lower from the floor instead of the ceiling at 48. So hit OK. Now we got some bars that are blocking us, and let me go ahead and put in a 3D mode, or player 1 start. Okay, now here we go into the game, and you can see we got a bridge there, or you can see we got a gate there, but we don't have nothing that's bridge styled really about it. So what we'll do is we'll add an extra layer to that by making another line that goes across on both sides. Okay, flip that. And on these ones, we're going to do the same thing we did with the last ones, only make them step top. Copy paste. Make that 48 above the floor. Make sure it raises from above the floor, lower unpegged, hit OK. And we'll make those impassable as well. Alright. So now when we go through, and what we'll do is here is, because you noticed that once you got close to the bridge, you'll be able to see under it. So to finish this bridge off, what we'll do is make a line across these sides, and we will make them impassable. Okay, so here comes the final test play. Test. Come in here, you'll see we got a 3D bridge. It looks like that. We can't walk past it, so it's not like we can see under it. If you jump, you see that error I was talking about from seeing it from the side, but you can't see under it really that too well. You come around, you walk on the top, hey, there's a 3D bridge here. So that's pretty much the basics of making a 3D bridge that you can walk over but not under. It's good for some great visual effects and levels. So the next question you might be asking is, how do we make a bridge that I can walk under and over? Well, to do this, we're going to go ahead and use the same design scheme we used for this one, and we're going to make some stairs on both of the sides of the bridge. Okay, and make the bridge itself. Okay. And we'll go ahead and make these stairs just like we did with the last one. And then we got to go in and re-texture these. I'm going to go ahead and select them ahead of time and put this texture on them so I know where they are. So go into 3D mode, and there they are. And we'll go ahead and form these stairs up just like we did with the last ones. Okay, here's our stairs. We'll go ahead and retexture these just like the last ones as well. Okay, so with that done, we'll go ahead and go back out of 3D mode. And instead of putting a sector in there like this, what we're going to do this time is make so-called just stilts for the player to walk across on here. So we'll just add some in here, and you can really do any design that you want. It's all dependent on you. I'm just going to do a basic design. Okay. Oop. And And okay, there we go. So we'll go ahead and select all of these lines, except for the ones that are actually connected to the stairs. They're actually part of the stairs themselves. And we go ahead and go through and select each of these lines. Okay, right click, and we're going to go ahead and make a lower peg, step top. Okay, make them 48 from the floor. Alright, and hit OK. Alright, now go into 3D mode and you will see that we actually have a bridge here, but it's just an actual placeholder for the bridge. It's not really the bridge itself, meaning that if you walked over this right now, you'd fall right through. So what we need is something that is going to bring a whole a fakey 3D bridge that once you walk over it, it raises this sector, but once you walk under it, it lowers it. And what we'll go ahead and do is, just like the last bridge, we'll go ahead and block the sides off to make it a little more simple. And we'll delete those out. Okay. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and save because I've already had this crash on me once, which is just not pleasant. Come in here and save it as bridge map. Alright, now what we need is a sector right here. So what we're going to do is build a sector on the outside, just a small simple sector, and this is going to be basically known as a control sector here. And what we're going to add here is what we basically would call a dummy sector. And don't match it up to these lines, just make it around like this, just like we had the other bridge over here. Okay, now with that, what we're going to do is select, or first we'll select this control sector out here, and we'll notice that it's sector 39. Now to make that control sector control this dummy sector, we'll select all four sides of this, and we'll change them to 39. Now you'll select this, and that'll be selected as well. So whatever this sector is doing, this bridge is going to be doing. Okay. So from there, we'll add on another sector here. Okay, and you okay, that's right there. And then this is where the mechanics of the bridge basically come in. Basically, we want to make it where if we go over this top, it will raise the bridge up to 64 units, but when we go over the bottom, it'll raise it back down to 0. So we'll flip these to this line def right here, because when you walk over it, it basically activates like that. So we'll select these two line defs first, and we'll select floor, and it's going to be walk repeatable and floor lowers to highest floor is what we're looking at. Okay, so, and we got to sector tag that to 1 and make sure this sector tag is 1, so it activates this sector. Okay, now floor lowers to highest floor. Now we're going to raise this floor up to 64. Now how this works basically is, because we're telling the floor to lower to the highest floor around it, Doom basically thinks, hey, here's the floor right here, and it's going to lower down to here, which is the next highest floor. But since it's actually above it, instead of going down, it bumps it straight up really quickly, which means like instantly. So basically when you walk over, that sector is going to bump up to 64 instantly. So that's one part of the bridge done. So what we need to do is make the second part, and we'll basically make a those sides here again, and we'll go ahead and move that. Okay, so now with those, we'll go ahead and select those, and we're looking for, go under floor, we're looking for floor raise to lowest ceiling. Hit OK, change it to 1, and now this is going to make the floor, whatever this is, raised to whatever is the lowest ceiling. So what we'll do is drop this sector's here ceiling to 0. So when you cross here, the lowest ceiling next to this sector is going to be this one, which is 0. So this thing will drop to 0 instantly. And so we'll go ahead and save it again and test it. And I screwed up because I'm in the middle of a wall. Yeah, hang on, I gotta reposition my player start here. Alright, there we go. And test. And here you go, you see that we can walk. Oh, see, sometimes you hit errors with these things. Some of these bridges sometimes are really hard to pull off with these node builders. But you can see basically that when you walk under it, it goes down, and when you walk over it, it goes up. But you see, sometimes you'll hit errors like that to where you're just not working correctly.